Hello, I'm Delusion Dispeller. Today I'm going to cover an interesting area that I had never really heard of before one of my viewers brought it to my attention. It's known as a character disturbance. Now, I'm not sure if this is the same as narcissism or if it's maybe a lower form of it. I'm not really sure. It sounded very similar to me. So I want to say that there are a lot of similarities, and you'll find that out as I go on to tell you about it. I'm going to begin by explaining a little bit about what character disturbance involves. Okay, as a person grows older, the person that has a character disturbance becomes very solid and steadfast in dysfunctional ways. So what happens is they become comfortable with these ways that they've lived that are dysfunctional and harmful to other people. And it's very difficult to change them when they become so set in their ways. They've always lived life and handled relationships in the manner that they do, regardless of other people trying to correct them or saying, that's kind of cold or tactless or whatever it might be. Because they're set in their ways as time goes on, it makes it very difficult for them to make changes and for you to help them to change. Treating a character disturbance is difficult because there really isn't a lot of information out there right now on that. It's very difficult to find a proper direction in how to help these people that are so stuck in this rut of living in ways that are offensive to others and sometimes bring harm to themselves. In traditional therapy, most therapists will try to establish a rapport, show compassion, empathy towards their client. The problem with dealing with a person with a character disturbance is that by opening yourself up to this person in therapy or even as a friend and trying to get them to open up, it's really not going to solve their problem, because their problem is not that they don't know what they're doing. They're very, very well aware of what they're doing. What the problem is with them is that they have a deep set of false beliefs and bad attitudes that have contributed to their problems in life. They have very distorted perceptions of situations, events, and people. The way that the disturbed character person thinks is his main problem, rather than just his need to express emotions. So it's faulty thought patterns, really, that are behind the disturbed personality. Okay. Attention needs to be placed on the incorrect and distorted thoughts and the thought patterns, and correction needs to be given for these distorted thoughts. They need to learn new ways of dealing with people and situations. Their harmful behaviors need to be redirected, and I think that is pretty much what happens in a dialectical behavioral therapy type of situation. Although I'm very new to learning about DBT, I think that's kind of the gist of it, is that the therapist will talk to the person about these behaviors, talk to them about what the results of their behaviors are and how they treat other people, and offer them some new behaviors that they might try. Trying to make a person with disturbed character understand that what they're doing is wrong is counterproductive, because as I said before, they already know that what they're doing is wrong. Not only do they know that it's wrong, and they even know why they do it, and that other people don't like that they do it, and that some people even perceive them as evil and harmful and dangerous. But they prefer to stay the way that they are rather than to choose the better way and the appropriate and fair way. With these situations, the person needs to be confronted, corrected, and as I said, the new behaviors not only have to be taught but reinforced in some way. This will come through gentle leading, persuading, and modeling, and also some challenges and encouragement for the person to at least give it a try, that there might be a better idea and way to act than what they're doing. And if the person will change their ways even a little bit and take a step in the right direction, they will find out that good things come of it, and very often they will continue in that way because they like the good results. But it's a very gradual, step-by-step method that needs to be done in a way to gain the person's cooperation and guide them in calculated risks of behavior. Many clients have fears and insecurities, and they need to build that trust with the counselor and a rapport. The counselor needs to have compassion in this case. This does not apply to the person with a disturbed character. This person can be a risk taker, can be shallow, can exploit others, and often will even use sexuality as a way to manipulate other people. By using the typical compassionate and like the reflective listening techniques with a disturbed character person, they kind of see you as, you just don't get it. You don't understand. I'm not into all that mumbo jumbo and all that, flaky shrink stuff. In fact, this makes you look very easy to manipulate and to deceive to this person. In order to reach these people, they need to know that you understand where they're coming from, that you are willing and able to handle their issues in the right way, so that they can be comfortable not opening up to you, but making the changes that they need to make. These people are not shame and guilt deficient. These people are shame and guilt deficient rather than neurotic. The neurotic person will come to you expecting comfort and encouragement and hugs and, attaboys. This person doesn't need that from you. They don't care. In a case of a person I know very well, this person had an attitude of, well, the people in my life that were supposed to be there for me weren't. I raised myself. Why do you think I need them now? I can do everything on my own. And so they were not neurotic. They were very self-sufficient and very determined people, this person. And this person did not have any shame in mistreating people, nor did this person feel guilty at all. A neurotic person feels that shame and that deep guilt. For instance, a borderline person, they feel a lot of shame and a lot of guilt, and a lot of them cut themselves because of this type of thing. They feel they deserve to hurt. They feel they deserve punishment. Well, a dysfunctional, disturbed personality person does not feel this way. They feel worse about getting caught or exposed rather than feeling bad that they harmed somebody, or ashamed and realizing that they did something wrong. The idea that you can't imagine how someone could have said or done something hurtful proves that you most likely are not a disturbed personality or character. These disturbed people are very skilled at what's called impression management. They know how to tweak things around in a certain way so that they can create a certain impression in your mind about them that is false. They will teach you how to perceive them. They practice the responsibility avoidance technique. It's always someone else's fault. It's never their fault. Something else made them do it, that type of thing. A woman that stays with a disturbed personality man has her own character issues that she needs to deal with. Many of these women stay with abusive people, abusive men with character disturbance. They usually have a sense of naivety about them. They're very clingy. They can be very emotionally dependent on another person. They are very unbalanced in their self-worth and their self-esteem. They are very needy people, and they're very self-deceived people. These are perfect targets for the character disturbed person. Now, I hope that kind of clears up what a character disturbance is, and the fact that traditional counseling methods will not work with these people 9 times out of 10, maybe more than that. These people are very convinced that what they're doing is getting them what they want, so why change it? You're not going to change somebody with a disturbed character because they like what they do, They don't care how it affects anybody else, and they're in it for themselves, period. So that concludes the problem with character disturbance. I hope you learned something from this. I certainly did doing the research, and I thank that viewer for suggesting this. And if there's any other information anybody out there would like, and you'd like me to review it and do some studying up on it and report back to you, feel free to email me at delusiondispeller@gmail.com. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day or evening, whatever it is there. God bless you, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.